Commander Chip Boogerd, United States Navy retired, and the last name is spelled B-O-O-G-E-R-D. My background was I always loved aviation as a kid, and my mom, when I was in college, had me take a discovery flight, and I came back from that discovery flight and decided I wanted to fly for the rest of my career. In the Navy, I flew primarily the F-18 Hornet. I finished out in the F-18 Super Hornet, and I began my career in the F-14 Tomcat. I would believe that my career, especially in the Navy, has impacted numerous people. I was an instructor 3 times in the Navy, in T-2 Buckeyes, in F-18s, and then in Super Hornets. How the process works is they put out a message and they're looking for either 2 or 3 pilots each year, and then you put your package in, and then you go to 3 air shows that the team are at, and you hang around the team so they get to know what you're like. From there they pick finalists, and you go down to Pensacola, Florida, and normally there's about 7 pilots that go down, and you spend 4 days with the team. Big interview the first day, and then you get to watch briefs, you get to watch the air shows up close personal with the team, and then at the end of that week you have a specific time to call in on Friday, and they either tell you got selected or you didn't get selected. And I tell you, once you get selected, it changes everything, because before it was just a dream, and then you come to realize, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to do this, and it's not easy. There were many days when I was in winter training learning, and I'm like, man, am I ever going to figure this out? But there's a process, and it works. Well, the way the Blue Angels fly is we don't fly with a G-suit. There is a G-suit hanging up in here. The reason why is we put a spring physically attached to the stick that pulls forward on the stick. And the reason being is we fly with the rudder pedals all the way back towards us, and so we have our leg up like this, and we brace our arm against that spring. The spring's got about 35 pounds of downforce. The average show is about 48 to 50 minutes long, and so you're holding that stick. So if you're thinking about a 35-pound weight and you're making movements the whole time, you're basically pulling on 35 pounds the whole time. And so there was many times that I would have got done flying and my hand was stuck like this, because it's been stuck like that the whole time, and I had to shake it out while I was flying. So it's very demanding. You're totally sweat in the summertime, just because it's a lot of physical demand on the body. You're pulling up to 8 Gs, and then you're not doing 8 Gs in formation, but you're doing up to 4 Gs in formation. Each year we're at 35 different show sites when I was on the team, and we do 2 shows normally at the site, so that's 72 shows, but all our practices are the same as the show. Now, most favorite shows, Pensacola Beach is a favorite, San Francisco is a favorite, Chicago is a great show, all in these big cities. I'm over 10,000 hours. I flew 5,000 in the Navy. In the Hornet itself, I have over 3,000 hours in, and I've got 800 in the Tomcat. And so being on cruise, I've been on 7 cruises in the Navy on aircraft carriers. So you're building up a lot of time there. And then since then, I've been flying with FedEx. We have a specific schedule that we follow, and you get used to it at every show. You wake up at a certain time. Normally on a show site, you will show up on Thursday, we will land, take off as in sections, and we will get our checkpoints, and then we'll land again, and then we'll go out and do a practice show, and then we'll debrief, and then we'll go to the hotel. Normally we'll go to the gym and work out, and then Friday mornings, half of the pilots either go to a hospital or a high school to speak to kids. And then on Saturday or Friday night, Friday afternoon actually, we have a practice demonstration. Friday night normally is the air show party. Saturday mornings we don't really do anything, but we have the practice or the actual show on Saturday, actual show on Sunday, and then we fly back to Pensacola on Sunday nights. Monday is supposed to be our day off. Normally we come in anyhow to answer fan mail and stuff. And then Tuesday is a practice day, Wednesday's a practice day, and then Thursday we leave again for the next show. F-14s take 6 months to learn. So you start out, basically learning the airplane itself, and then you're going to go into 2 different tactics phase, dropping bombs, and then the air-to-air phase. And then the culmination of all that training is to take the F-14 to the ship, which is one of the hardest airplanes to land on an aircraft carrier. So the airplane is an older airplane. It was built in 1972. Speed-wise, it's over a Mach 2 airplane, so it's faster than the Hornet. The Hornet's a newer airplane, and especially the Super Hornet is much newer. So a lot more electronics, better radars, and stuff like that. But just a joy to fly. The F-14 was the greatest airplane I've ever flown. With commercial jets, there's passengers, and we don't have those. We have boxes. But currently I'm a captain on the 767. I was a captain on the 757 beforehand, and then I was a first officer on the MD-11. I got hired into the first officer seat in the 727. Well, the big thing is, getting proper rest. And so normally I try to follow the same schedule when I'm on a trip. Normally we take off early in the morning, 3 in the morning. Normally get to your hotel around 6:30 or 7 in the morning. Try to sleep for 3 hours, 4 hours. Get up, maybe get a workout in, and then I normally try to get another nap in, especially if I'm going to turn that night into another flight. But the big deal is, getting those sleep periods so that you can stay alert in those early morning flights. And so it's a 1940 Stinson Reliant. It was in World War II in the Royal Navy, and I fell in love with this airplane when I saw it online. It took me about 6 months to convince myself to buy it, and I have not looked back and regretted the decision. It's a lot of fun to fly. You're in charge of everything. Flying for FedEx airplanes, we have a lot of people that support us, be it weather, dispatchers. When you fly in general aviation, it's you doing it all. So you've got to make sure you got the proper weather of the NOTAMs, make sure the airplane's fueled, everything about it is airworthy. So there's a lot more involved in general aviation flying than just FedEx flying. There's been many a flight where things did not go as planned. I guess one of the most memorable that I ever had was Lafayette, Louisiana. We were doing the double Farvel, where the boss, the number 1 jet, and the number 4 jet are upside down on top of each other with 2 and 3 upright. While we were going down the center line, as I was upside down as 4, I saw a big seagull right down the center line. And we're about 150 feet off the ground, upside down, and I took that bird down the engine and lost that engine. I pitched out of the formation and set up for an emergency landing. But I went through my procedures, broke out my emergency handbook, covered all the items that were required prior to landing, and had an uneventful landing. Nothing is ad hoc when we do a demonstration. So when you watch a demonstration that the team does, there's only 4 shows. There's a high show, a low show, a flat roll tub show, and a flat show. And we don't change the maneuvers while that's going on. We don't decide to do something else. Each demo is set, and that's what we practice. So when we go out, we know what we're going to do. It may change. It may go to a high show that goes to a low show, but we just don't do extra maneuvers in between them. Believe in your dreams. I, didn't think I could do everything I did. And I didn't put those dreams out there. When I was looking to join the Navy, I didn't say, I want to be a Blue Angel. When I joined, I said I wanted to be a pilot. Now, actually, I left Top Gun, the theater, and walked out and said I wanted to fly F-14s. So that one was, yes, I want to go fly F-14s, and that was my goal when I joined. And then once I was, and I said, I think I could rush the Blue Angels. And so I said, well, I'm going to do that. And was lucky enough to get selected. No, it's the military regiment. So everything is regimented for you on what you're going to do, and there's very demanding expectations. So when you go to a flight, you're expected to have studied everything, know what you're, and it is laid right out for you what you're going to have to do on that flight. And so being prepared is the biggest thing. The F-14 is a little bit different from the F-18. F-14 had 2 crew members. The F-18 was single seat. Super Hornet had a lot more electronics that you had to be very knowledgeable on. And then going to FedEx, again, I had to come back to learning to fly with a crew again. I hadn't done that since I left the F-14s, which was probably 17 years of flying single seat in the F-18, and now learning again how to work with a crew. It was a great career, and I would recommend it to anybody if they want to be in the military. It's a lot of fun, but going civilian, there's a lot of challenges with that also.
Thank you for your time, and I'm very appreciative.